Attention, Cat Scouts. Take your seats. I'm Cat Scout Dirt, and welcome to today's briefing entitled Hygiene. Living safely in a dirt and germ-filled world of disgusting things that can happen and very often do, so be prepared. I'd like to begin with a short story. A few years ago, when I was a Kit Scout, I went on my first camping trip. One morning, as I was brushing my teeth, I accidentally dropped my toothbrush into the latrine. I picked it up and was about to resume brushing when my patrol leader, who was standing next to me brushing his teeth, grabbed my toothbrush out of my paw and threw it in the trash. "You can't use that. It's contaminated with germs. That's why I threw it in the trash. Use your spare," he told me. I did as he instructed, and he continued brushing his teeth. And then I said to him, "You might want to throw your toothbrush in the trash too. I dropped yours in the Kaibo yesterday." Well, that was the day I began to learn about the importance of today's topic. As regards hygiene, it is vitally important to adopt good hygiene habits before summer camp, when you will spend your nights zipped up inside a tent with other fellow Cat Scouts. Failure to do so may result in getting a nickname, like Stinky Steve, Halitosis Hal, or Earwax Ernie. Also, if you smell like a litter box, you can't board the Cat Scouts Rescue Helo on an exciting, life-saving rescue mission. Instead, you'll have to stay in camp with the Pansy Boys and Kit Scouts. For these reasons, I urge you to man-cat up and accept the challenge of maintaining a high level of personal hygiene. Admittedly, keeping yourself clean in camp can be a challenge, so let's discuss ways to address the problem. Firstly, just because your Cat Scouts tactical underbriefs have a potty panel, you are advised to only employ it in the event of a urinary emergency. For example, if you get chased up a tree by a bear and are forced to spend the night clinging to a couple of branches in fear of your life, as soon as it's safe to inch your way back down that tree, skedaddle back to camp and clean that potty panel. Without attending to this detail, it's very possible that wild animals will pick up your scent, chase you down, and rip you to shreds like a Cuisinart. If you're far from camp when a mercenary urinary event occurs, wash those underbriefs in a stream. Be sure to employ the biodegradable soap from your Cat Scouts Tactical Preparedness Kit. Do not relegate this duty to a Kit Scout. You are responsible for your own dirty work. Additionally, as regards your Cat Scouts Tactical Underbriefs, you also will need to maintain its tail hole. A common scenario leading to the need for this is drinking water from your canteen before the purification tablets have had time to kill unfriendly germs. In such situations, sooner or later, the tail hole of your underbriefs may require attention due to getting a case of these squirts. Out of sight should not be out of mind. Be vigilant. Inspect this area of your briefs and keep it clean. Otherwise, you might get a nickname like Poop Hole Pete or Tail Hole Tim, nicknames that will stay with you to the grave. Another scenario you should consider is that of discovering that your tactical underbriefs have developed skid marks. As bad as that may be, you can bet that the parts of you that soiled them are soiled as well. So, pull a tidy wipe out of your Cat Scouts Tactical Personal Care Kit and scrub your nether regions, including your poop hole. Yes, I said poop hole. No snickering in the back. When you're done, give the area a good licking. With respect to your poop hole, it's important to clean it immediately after it becomes soiled with fecal matter. Otherwise, crusties will form and you'll need to chip them off with your Cat Scouts Tactical Army Knife, which introduces the possibility of lopping off what's left of your boy bits, like that unfortunate incident with Cat Scout Gomer last year. There's a reason he can now sing tenor in the Cat Scouts choir. Now, a word about using camp facilities, and in particular, those provided for the process of elimination, namely the camp latrine, or as we Cat Scouts affectionately call it, the Kaibo. The Kaibo, well, it's a fancy scouting word for the covered litter box. It usually has a moon carved in its door. It's a reminder that if you're not careful to lock the door, you'll be mooning the whole camp. A word of caution. Some scouts have been known to take issues of cat fancy with them into the Kaibo and plant themselves in there, waiting for nature to take its course. This is unscoutly-like behavior. No doubt there are others waiting in line, maybe even dancing around from paw to paw, waiting for the cabo to open up. So be considerate. Limit your visits to occasions of immediate need, and only then take care of business as expeditiously as possible. Oh, and one more thing. Never use the very last square of cabo tissue, leaving the next scout high and dry. If you notice the tissue supply is getting low, chase down the quartermaster to get another roll and restock it. The same holds true of the alfresco litter box set up downwind of camp. Make sure the privacy screen is set up fully at all times. If the litter box is piled high with waste products, let the Kit Scouts litter team know so they can deploy scouts to clean it. Above all, when occupying the cabo, make sure your aim is true. You don't want to step in a moat of pea mud around the box. If you are a long-haired scout, you may find it convenient to get a lion cut before camp. That way you won't spend most of your time removing mats from your furs, especially girl cats, because otherwise you might have to fend off hooligans offering to comb out your mats as a ruse for their nefarious intentions. Their wandering paws will find their way to your private girl parts. Did you see Fluffy McPurr at camp this year? No, siree. A hooligan pulled the mat removal ruse on her last year, and she was so traumatized we had to fly her out on the helo, and she's been hiding under a bed ever since. Moving on. Let's talk handkerchiefs. You should never be caught without a clean handkerchief in your pocket. The handkerchief has nearly as many uses as the Cat Scout's tactical army knife. You can tie it to your tail for greater visibility when hiking along roadways. It can be tied on a stick and raised as an SOS, or used as a makeshift semaphore. It can wipe sweat from your brow. But its most important use is as a snot depository. If you feel a sneeze or a cough coming on, reach for your handkerchief and sneeze or cough into it. If you don't, you risk infecting your entire troop with a deadly disease like malaria, Legionnaire's disease, or the swine flu, which could put a damper on everyone's summer camp experience. Now, all you girl cats will need to cover your ears for this section. Covered? Good. Boys, a discussion of hygiene would not be complete without a discussion of nocturnal emissions. Every boy cat has them. Maybe you were dreaming of that comely girl cat in the cat fancy centerfold and you woke up wet. That's okay. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Just put on a fresh pair of underbriefs and clean the soiled ones at your earliest convenience. And the next time you get your paws on an issue of Cat Fancy, you are advised to read it for the articles, not the pictures. Before we signal the girl cats to uncover their ears, I want to caution you boy cats. Jokes about feminine hygiene are totally inappropriate, period. Okay, girl cats, you can take your paws out of your ears. Speaking of ears, don't forget to remove your earwax as often as possible. If you don't, you might find potatoes growing in them. Earwax removal is best accomplished by a buddy's tongue. Don't forget to reciprocate. A discussion of hygiene would not be complete without covering good dental hygiene. Brush your teeth after every meal and don't forget to floss and finish up with a mouthwash rinse. Flossing is especially important after eating rats and other vermin because their fur can get stuck in your teeth. By the way, how does a Cat Scout feel when he drops the toothpaste? Crestfallen. Ha, a little hygiene humor there. Okay, seriously though. When camping, try to avoid foods that will give you particularly bad breath. After a long night with several scouts in your tent, so much bad breath will be produced that the stench will wake you up long before reveille. Again, mouthwash can be critically important to maintaining good dental hygiene. If you have any questions about mouthwash, just gargle it. In summary, as you have heard today, there's a lot to know about hygiene. Developing good hygiene habits is one of the most valuable skills you can muster. It will enhance your camping experience, as well as that of your patrol mates. Okay, Cat Scouts, that's it for this briefing. Be sure to pick up an informational pamphlet on the way out. It's loaded with helpful hygiene hints, including diagrams, and it's printed on a square of Kaibo tissue, so keep it handy just in case.